Hi, friends. Welcome. It is craft class on Friday night instead of Thursday night. And welcome. My name is Cheryl Wright. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Northeastern Montana. And I am ready, I think. I postponed you yesterday because I had a family thing come up. And tonight I almost had another family thing. So it was kind of touch and go for a minute. Nothing serious, just, stuff. Hi, Maureen. How are you? All right, so let me get my other camera going. I got to get rid of this light. I feel like I'm under the rays. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Melinda. All right. Let me see. Let me get my other camera going. And oh, my buttons have moved around. All right. Well, here. I'm gonna go away for a second. I tried to wipe it earlier, but it just, I got rid of my beams. I'm not far away anymore. So tonight's kind of a hodgepodge class. I am focusing, and every project I have is using the product of the month paper, but I've also got a few other things that I'm going to share with you and show you, and some of them are available now, and some of them are things you can get in 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, today's the 14th, so you only have to wait till September 1st for a couple of these. So let's go ahead and get started. Last chance products have been added. There are some good ones. Hi, Jeanette. And paper pumpkin. The new paper pumpkin for this coming month is the Aspens of Gratitude. Looks gorgeous. And you have to be subscribed by September 10th in order to get that kit. And it's going to be gorgeous. The add-on for this quarter is these. I think this goes with September. If I'm not mistaken, they kind of look like aspen leaves. And you know what? I have those right next to me. I was going to try to make myself use them. And who knows? Maybe I'll use them tonight. I don't have my sentiments cut out. I may try something. That's where I'm going to leave it. We'll see how everything goes. Things are pretty simple tonight, but I might make them challenging. There is currently a cardstock and designer series paper sale happening. It is on select products, but it is on a lot of products. So you can get quite a bunch. There are some that are temporarily sold out. The majority of them are supposed to be back in stock before the end of the month. You can click, let me know when it's back in stock, or you can let me know that you're waiting for it, and I will go in and do it and let you know when it gets back in stock. So this goes through August 31st. Oh, I got a thumbs up on that one. Yay. All right. Glow of Harvest. This is the paper that I am using tonight. It is the product of the month. It is $5 if you spend $75. So if you get stock up on your paper, make sure you have enough to get through the holidays and stuff. And then this is the new catalog. Some of the products I'm using tonight are from this catalog. I can't show you what's inside until September 1st. But some of the products are in here, and some of them are from a different release, maybe. But the first one I'm going to show you is from a different release, but that's okay. Let's talk about this product of the month right now, though. This product of the month is gorgeous. As you can see, I've already butchered into mine. It has a silver glimmer sheen. I haven't coughed all day. Especially, yeah, Glow of Harvest. It does glow. It doesn't glow in the dark, but it's got a silvery shimmery. It is so pretty. So there's a pumpkin. I don't know what to call this. Weeds and leaves. And it is just so pretty. These are like some rose hip buds, maybe? I don't know. and some branches. And this is my favorite piece. I'm going to tell you right now, but I made myself only use it on one project because I thought you might get tired of seeing it. But if I decide I don't like it, I might get it back out. And then there's some acorns. There's 2 sheets of 6 different papers. And then we have some more. I think there's 1 or 2. There's those pumpkins. They almost look like Cinderella pumpkins, if you ask me. There's my favorite one, some leaves. I think I got them all. Hey, I tried to share the love and spread them out a little bit. So we're going to try a couple different things. So when I focused on the paper, that meant I could pull in a couple other things. So I'm going to pull in a couple other things. One of the things I'm going to show you is I have a pile. Oops, I did that wrong. I'm going to need, there we go. Okay. So this is the painted pumpkins, the painted pumpkin suite. Nope, paper. I cannot speak tonight. This is the painted pumpkin bundle. I did it. It is not a suite. However, it does have paper that comes with it, but I did not get the paper. The paper didn't speak to me, and that's okay. When you see it, you might go, oh, okay, I get it. The paper I think would work really well with this is the stuff, some of the stuff I showed you last week is this gorgeous stuff, and I will be using this with it. I will do a whole class on this at some point, but tonight we're just going to use, we're just going to use it a little bit. We're not going to do a full class, but I wanted to pull it in with the pumpkin paper. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to stamp some pumpkins. And one of the great things about this bundle is they have stencils. So that's what we're going to do. I have too big of a piece of paper here, but I can get a smaller piece. So we're just going to stamp some pumpkins. And let me load them up. I'm telling you what I don't have. What I do have, I have 3 projects for you tonight. And I didn't realize these were joined together. Probably for the stencils. So I'm going to get a larger block out. And I'm assuming these 3 are stuck together as well. So I will get another large block out. I could just use my Stampin' Positioner tool. But at this point, I'm just going to use blocks because they don't have to go in any certain spot. All right, on this, there's also some leaves and some words. We might use words. So this was going to be my difficult card, but then I got doing the other cards, and if I do what I think I want to do with those, this might be my easy card. I know. I know. That's why it's called Crafting with Cheryl or Craft with Cheryl, because you and I are making stuff together as we go. All right. Scrap paper. Scrap paper. Ooh, that worked well. And we may as well do this one while we have the scrap paper out. So I'm just pre-inking. Make sure there's no weird things that came from the factory. Ooh, do you see any other sneak peeks? There's a little mouse. There's some sunflowers. Sneak peeks on the scrap paper. I didn't plan for that, but if you're paying attention, you might see some things. One thing I did not have in the announcements is Stampin' Cross Country registration opens tomorrow. I will send an email out to my email people as soon as my link is ready. Right now, it's not ready. And I'll also put it on craftwithcheryl.com. So if you would like to get the email ASAP, sign up for my emails at craftwithcheryl.com. And if you are already on there, you'll get them first. And then craftwithcheryl.com is another place. And some of you may be wondering what Stampin' Cross Country is. Stamping Cross Country is a week-long experience. We're just going to say that. I was going to say event, but it's an experience. It's fun. We start out really small, and we do some challenges and some fun posts on Facebook. And if you're not on Facebook, that's okay. You can still be around you can still partake in the main event. So all week we kind of warm you up and do some fun activities. We do mystery stamping. We do bingo and some challenges. There's prizes. And then mystery stamping is Tuesday night. Bingo is Thursday night. And then the demonstrations for cards start on Friday night. And if you choose to get the whole kit, all the pieces and parts, all the cardstock is cut for you, and you get all the designer series paper you need and everything else. So we do videos Friday night, all day Saturday, and then Sunday, we have been doing Scrapbook Sunday. This year, or this time around, we're going to do Hot Foil Sunday. So we are really excited about that. All right, this is a stencil of leaves I am not using. And I don't think I need to stencil the stems at this point. So let's see here. I thought they were numbered, but you know what? They're okay. Oh, they are numbered. Look at that. You can see the numbers up in the corner. All right. So, all right. Somebody told me that if you use your Stampin' Positioner tool to do these, it makes it easier. So that's what we're going to do. And if you notice, I got extra magnets. And so we're going to try it this way. I haven't. So this is number 1. And I can see that may or may not work the way I stamped them. That's all right. Number 1. Y'all are doing them with me. I can see I should have done this differently. Number 1. There we go. So in order to have the mat. So the reason they said to use the positioner tool is to hold the paper down, but it also holds the stencil down. So we're going to use Golden Glow, because if you notice on the paper, my pumpkin paper that walked away, oh no, it's still here. They're kind of a golden glow, and we're going to do some light brown also. So let me grab my brush and my Golden Glow, and that's how easy this is going to be. It's going to be even more easy if you don't bump the stencil with other things. All right, blending brushes work great for this. I can see I don't need these anymore, so we're going to stand them up so they're a little out of the road. And we're just going to go in. I could use orange, but this Golden Glow is just going to take care of it, and it's going to match my my card better. All right, so there's some Golden Glow. It's got a touch of orange, and then I have this. Maybe I should go this way. Maybe I'm just not thinking straight. Okay. And these go here. I see why they kept these 3 stamps together for the stenciling. All right. And then I can just put some magnets. Like I said, I bought extra magnets. So I will try this. We got some rain. Yay. Hi, Crystal. And Jeanette. Oh, my word. You guys are all pouring in. Thank you for showing up. I love it when you guys all hang out with me. All right. So there is step 1. And our inks, our Stampin' Up's inks are water-based. So all I have to do is take this to the bathroom and rinse it off, or grab a baby wipe or a chamois or something. So now we're going to find number 2, and we're going to go ahead and I bet I didn't even have to do the stamping with this. That's what I'm thinking now. I think I could have made pumpkins without. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. But this still gets where we're going. All right. So now I'm going to put some magnets. And now I'm going to use the Golden Glow again. And I'm going to hit it just a little bit harder. And it does not have to be perfectly even, but there are lines in there that's going to leave the lines on the pumpkins. Gives it some shadowing. All right. Yeah, I should have done this differently, but that's okay. We might do it quick at the end. I'll show you what it could have looked like, because this is coming out in September. So if you are a pumpkin fan, these are on your, put them on your order. All right. So there's number 2. Very pretty. And now we're going to do number 3. And like I said, I stamped these back. I didn't do them backwards. But there's a 3 up here. And then we're going to stop. I think I'm going to introduce a little bit of maybe crumb cake. I don't know that I want to go all the way to brown, but crumb cake would be a nice compromise. Let me find a brush for crumb cake and find my crumb cake ink. And I'm not going to go real dark on this because I just want to give it the shadow that it's asking for. Up. And that wiggled, so we're going to be done with that one. Ooh, those are pretty. You can also just use markers to color these in, or colored pencils, but how much fun is that when they give you the fun stencil? All right, so like I said, crumb cake just gives it a little bit different hue. And then I'll show you what we're going to do next. We'll give you the full effect. All right, so those are our pumpkins. So let's try it a little bit differently now. Now that I know what we're doing. I need a big piece. So you know what? We're just going to go with the big piece, because we can. All right, starting at the beginning again. With number 1, you don't need stamps. You can just get the stencils. I'm going to butt this up against there. Put that on. Now watch the magic. You have way too much rain. Well, right now, actually, we don't want a lot of rain. It's not doing good things to the crops right now, because right now the crops are supposed to be dry so we can harvest them. And right now they're not dry. But we had a big fire last week, if you remember. So it's kind of been nice to have the moisture so we don't have the fires. All right, so get the full pumpkin effect. And then take this, and there are notches. So see, I can put that there if I wanted to. If I were being a good demonstrator, I would show you that there's notches here. And then, but these are pretty easy to line up too, right? And then you take number 2 and you line it up at the notch. And there they are. And then I'm going to do this a darker color, a darker golden glow. Before the lines were done with the ink also, the black ink, or not black ink, I used early espresso. All right, so there we have that. Now we're going to do a little bit more shadow on them. And we're going to add this one. This is number 3. So if we line up the tick mark at the top, it all lines up again. And this is where we're moving to crumb cake. And then you guys get to vote whether we should use the stamped ones or these to use on my card, because we do have to get back to the card. Hi, Sue. How are you this evening? All right, here we go. So I'm just going to come in, and I can come in sideways and do it very lightly. And you can choose different colors. Like I said, I chose these colors because these are the colors that are listed on the designer series paper. Crumb cake is not listed, I don't think. Pecan pie is an early espresso, and I just figured the crumb cake was just a lighter version of those. All right. So now I didn't do this with the last step because I didn't need it, because I already had stems. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that cool? Those are so neat. And now we have stems and number 4, and we're going to stick it up there. And then we will have our pumpkins. So I need a green, and I think we'll use, Mossy Meadow might be the best green for this, because we want it, it's not a bright cherry palette. It's definitely an autumn palette. So we're just going to go in. And like I said, you could use daubers with this too. Daubers would work very easily with this. And you can experiment about what colors you like and how you want to do it. So there you have it. So now for our card, I'm going to cut out a set of pumpkins. Shall I cut out the stencils without stamps or the stamped ones? Which ones do you like better for this paper? Which one do you like better? The stamped or just the stenciled? Vote. Lock in your votes now. Isn't that how it goes on those TV shows? All right. Put that away. I've got some ink I can tuck aside. Stenciled. All right. I see a stenciled. Any other votes out there? I'm going to tuck these aside so I don't get ink on those. I have too many projects going on because I'm working on Stampin' Cross Country projects too. Well, I'm going to get my die cut machine put together, and stenciled ones without stamping stenciled. Well, I think everyone has made their choices. Now, look at these fun dies. They actually have the lines on some of them too, if you wanted to go that route. But because we stamped 3 at a time, we get to cut out 3 at a time. Yay! Look at this fun gate. Isn't that cool? And then these grapevines. Maybe we might actually make some grapevines. Might make some vines to go with this. And I think I would use the crumb cake. Maybe. There's tops for the stems, top stems for the pumpkins if you cut them out. This is a fun set. It is. All right. So this is what we're cutting out. And we're not going to worry about those right now, Cheryl. We need to get these lined up. Where's the tall guy? Here's the tall guy. And get some Post-it note tape or whatever you like to use to keep your... At least I stamped them far enough apart that I only have to run this through once. At least I had that part right. And actually, if these wiggled a little, it wouldn't be the worst thing. All right. Yes, my paper is a little longer than but that's okay. My machine. Let me grab my machine. Okay. All this to have something match the paper, right? Oops. Well, I can put the brushes away. I'm not crashing with those anymore. Get so much stuff out. All right, there we go. Oh, sorry, I bumped you. Machine aside. All right. Oh, those are gorgeous. No pun intended. Gorgeous. Yeah, I'm a real card some days. Oh, I like those. Like I said, this is just going to be a simple card. Excuse me. So I think they're going to be on there pretty nice. They have, the colors are a little brighter, but that's okay. And I have my card base, and I chose to use Golden Glow. I am rethinking my lack of a mat right now, though, so I'm going to make a mat. And I think, oops, I did not get that lined up very well. So I'm going to fix that. And where's my paper on this? Yeah, I might trim this and give it a mat. Okay, I'm going to use crumb cake because I think it will be perfect. Ooh, yeah. Okay, with those on. Oh, I think that's going to be pretty. All right, so I'm just going to do a little trimming. Grab my trimmer. So this is currently, I'm going to go 5 1/8 with this. I have been into 8ths lately. I don't know why, but I've been trimming everything down to 8ths. So this is currently 4. So I'm going to make this 3 7/8. I'm liking those little borders versus the big 1/8" borders. Don't ask me why. Don't ask. I have no clue. So this, oh, I see this is too big. I'm going to go 5 1/4 on this and 4. My card base was 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 5 1/2. And let's see how this all comes together now. All right. And I'm getting better at the tape runner, hopefully. So Maybe it's because it's new. Maybe because I finally figured out how to hold it. But I'm running with it because I really like the tape runner. It's faster. Not that I need speed all the time. There's our card base. And we're going to add this piece of DSP. So I was holding it differently. And now that I'm holding it with my thumb here, I'm actually getting the Stampin' Seal to work, which makes me so happy. Can you see that sheen? Isn't that so gorgeous? All right. Now we're going to put a couple of the bigger ones behind, and we're going to use the tape runner for that. You know what? I might build it in the middle. There's maybe off to the side a little bit. We're going to use some of the bigger ones, and we're just going to use some tape runner on the back, or tear and tape would work also, because you want them flatter. And there's all different sizes here, and we don't have to use all of them. And then the front ones, we're going to pop up on dimensionals, just to kind of give it some depth. So there's this one and this one. What's everybody doing for the weekend? My daughter came home again. I didn't know she was coming home, but it's fair time here in our little county. And she wanted to come home for the fair. And there was a wild horse race last night. And so she was in town for that. And then tonight is a concert. So she's going to the concert tonight. And so that's what kind of threw things off last night, was the fair. We tried to get to town in time to see our granddaughter in the stick horse rodeo, but it was raining, and so they started the stick horse rodeo early, and so we missed the stick horse rodeo. My son did send me a video, and she was really cute. Have you heard of a stick horse rodeo before? All right, I need to get, well, I can put it in front. All right, this is another one of those times. Last time I showed you this, excuse me, was last week when I did my scarecrow. Since this is already bumped up here, I don't want to put another layer of dimensionals and make it even bigger. So I'm going to put a glue dot behind there and a dimensional behind this end, just to keep it kind of level. So dimensional here. Actually, I don't even need a glue dot. I'm just going to use the heck out of this tape runner because I want to love it. I really do. All right. So there's my little pile of pumpkins. I'm going to save this one for the inside of my card, which I can do right now, as long as I have card base. These would have maybe even turned out more fitting if I would have used very vanilla instead of the white, but it's all good. All right, now we need a sentiment, and let's look and see what we have on this particular one. This is the dies. We're not going to find a sentiment on the dies. There's those beautiful stamped pumpkins. I'm going to slide those inside, so I have those for another day. And let's look. We have thank you. Hello, gorgeous. I hope your day is fabulous. Hey, maybe we'll do gorgeous since the paper's gorgeous, and so and I already had used that joke. Oh, school clothes shopping for the grandkids. That's always nice, Shirley. Sue is working the night shift. Well, I hope you have a good night shift. A friend of mine works the night shift at Dispatch sometimes, and I always tell her that I hope she has a boring night. All right, for this one, I'm going to use my trick. Where's my paper? I'm going to do it because I just feel like this is going to be a perfect one for this little trick. So it's going to stamp this way. And this is the trick I love so much. It's going to stamp here. So I'm going to take my pencil, get some ink, lead out, get the lead out. And I'm going to trace around with the pencil. Don't let it move. That long dangly OUS is having a hard time. And then I'm going to go around and I'm tracing the foot of the stamp. That's the wide base. But if the stamp is centered properly on the foot, which this one is, I haven't seen one for a while that's been wonky. Actually, I haven't seen one since they have gone to the photopolymer entirely. I think having it not centered or cut wonky was a red rubber thing. So, all right, now hopefully it worked. Okay, now look at, I have a place that I'm going to cut. So now I'm going to park my pencil out of the road and I'm going to grab my stamp and I am using Early Espresso. This is my inside piece. My paper's too big. And let me grab a scrap. Ooh, that's pretty. I think I need a new scrap paper. That one's getting, when it gets so full you can't see if the ink is working or not, then it's time to pass it on. All right, now that is where I'm going. I just have to line it up with where it's headed. Line up the foot where the foot goes. I think I did all right. Hello, gorgeous. Oh, as long as I have this ink out, I am going to ink up my sentiment for the inside. I can remember what I did with my stamps. They're right here under the dies. Hello, gorgeous. I hope your day is fabulous. That's what works best, right? I don't know who I'm going to give this to. Maybe I'll give it to my husband. He would not know what to do with himself if I gave him something that told him he was gorgeous. I don't give my husband cards very often. But I could put this for sale at one of my vendor events. And if somebody bought the Gourd-geous, they'll think that the inside is fabulous. Right? All right. This is my extra pumpkin. And I'm just going to put this down here. So that center is ready. And where is my Gourd-geous? I'm going to tear this and get a smaller piece of paper, grab a pair of scissors that are not for ribbons. And here we go. And I don't talk much when I'm fussy cutting. Isn't that weird? Takes more concentration, I guess, than the other parts of my job. As far as what I've got going on this weekend, I am working on stamping cross-country things. And I have the grandkids tomorrow night. For a while, I don't have an overnight. But my son and daughter-in-law want to have a date. So I told them I would watch the kids. They originally said they wanted to do it tonight. And I said, oh no, I have my video tonight since I didn't do it last night. So they are going to go tomorrow night, and I'm doing my video tonight, and all is well. Oh, next week. Next week, I am out of town on Thursday. So I am going to my nephew's wedding next weekend, and I am leaving on Thursday. So would you rather have a recording on Thursday night at the regular time, or would you rather have me live on Wednesday? You can let me know in the comments. Live on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain, or recording on Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain. You get to pick. Got a couple pencil marks. Now, since this, I'm thinking maybe here. Nope. I might put it. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I might just put it right at the top. All right. I was going to make some of these. I don't know if I need those. Well, they do have some tendrils there. All right. We're going to hold off on that. We're going to make some of these. I'm just going to grab my mini. Not get the big one out because I'm running out of room already today. Ugh. Boring is good. Making cards. Yes. Making cards. All right. I'm going to use these. Any other stencils I wanted to use? I thought about using the gate, but I decided I wasn't going to use the gate. Might just add another one of these. I don't know what kind of tape they use on the dies to get them to stay on that poster board, but by gosh, it is tough stuff. All right, let's see. I wonder if I have any that has adhesive sheet on the back of it. I usually try to put it with the white side showing in my bag. I have saved way too many crumbs of crumb cake. Ha ha. I'm just very punny tonight, aren't I? All right, I'm just going to add some adhesive sheet to this. Because then I have stickers. And piece kind of works. I think I can work in that parameter. I'm just gonna, oh, my husband and his cough. He keeps telling me he'll go to the doctor. Oh, if I don't feel better on Monday, I'll go to the doctor. Monday rolls around, he doesn't go to the doctor. Oh, if it rains, I'll go to the doctor. It rained. He didn't go to the doctor. His thing today was, oh, I guess I'll have to wait till Monday. If I don't feel better on Monday. It's like, whatever. I don't think you're ever going to go to the doctor, dear. Unless I take you to the ER and he's not that sick. He's just had this cough that's held on for a long time. He was getting better, and then we fought fire last week, and it got worse after he fought fire. Oops. I got some of the sticky with that one. All right, and then I'm just going to lay this down. All right, move my card aside. This will fit there. I'm going to do some leaves. I probably should have done green. The stems are green, but these are going to be brown. These are drying up before the stem. I could actually go in and put a little brown on the stems, but we're not going to worry about that. They are rocking and rolling and moving everywhere. There we go. Smash them down. You guys are probably thinking, oh my gosh, she said this was the easy card. Hi, Arlene. How are you? I'm sorry to hear your husband has a cough. And his sister just got over pneumonia, you said? Wow. Yeah, I wondered about Frank if he's got pneumonia. But that's pretty. That would make a pretty stencil. All the possibilities. Well, I can see I don't have adhesive on all my leaves, but it's good. So then I take this and turn it white side out in my stash of scraps. And then I try to see that next time if I want a little piece of adhesive sheet on it. Actually, I'm going to use the mini on the next one too. Okay. I think we're about done. Let's put this baby together. Oh, I did something wonky with I made my computer go full screen today, and so I don't have the little timer at the top, but that's okay. That's all right. There we go. Oh, I just love this. I couldn't not use the pumpkin paper and not use this pumpkin stamp. And we did stencil twice, so you could see how it looks both ways. Oh, I'm glad you're here. I have a new catalog for you, too. I'll have to get it to my friend when she starts teaching over in your town. And you can run and grab it unless I go by again. Because the new catalog starts on September. So this other catalog, this catalog ends this month. So if there's something in here that you liked, check the last chance list to see if it's going to stick around. Because it might not be. All right, I'm going to set these aside so I don't lose them. I have a magnetic sheet over here. All right, so let's put these. Just going to put Hello Gourd-geous. I might put that over here, you think? On the pumpkins? I kind of like it on the pumpkins. So we're going to do that. I'm going to use glue. Do I dare? No, I'm going to use glue dots. What kind of project would it be if Cheryl just used one type of adhesive on her projects? Okay. And one more. There we go. All right. Put this here. It's going to go all the way across. Is that straight? Straightish? There we go. Now I'll add these details. And I love the adhesive sheet because all I have to do, I learned another trick. When you have the adhesive sheets, you take a piece of Scotch tape, and you put it on the back, and then all you have to do is peel it off. Look at that. Isn't that easy? I learned that at a Stampin' Up class a couple weeks ago. There we go. So the coughing man is now downstairs instead of upstairs, so you're probably going to hear him. And it just peels off because it's release paper. So then you can use it again. Let's see. For the little ones. And, oh, come on. Then you bend it. Look how much easier that is. I am so excited about that. I might go this way since there's that cute little pumpkin right there. And then we're going to add a leaf. And this is only half covered, so we don't have to worry about me not being able to get that one. Let me just tuck that right around there. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I just put a leaf down at the bottom. So yeah, adhesive sheet. No, yeah, adhesive sheet and Scotch tape. Who knew? This one isn't covered all the way. So oh, I forgot to mention that my tutorials for my mystery craft box are for sale still too. There's that. And then this one. This one's good. I've got a starter, so I can put my piece of Scotch tape over yonder. Like I said, I didn't want to add a whole lot of color to this besides the pumpkins. So there you have card number 1. And we have the interior already. And we'll add a little more bling to it. You know, it's weird because to me, the Golden Glow is kind of a yellow, but when you layer it on the pumpkins like that, it definitely has an orange. You know what? It's going to be good. We're just going to let it ride. There you go. Nobody will ever know that I wanted that down a little bit. So let's see what we have for some bling. I think these are still current. I think these are on the last chance list. So we're using new product of the month, and last chance product, and current product. We're just getting it all in tonight. I did not check the last chance list before I went live tonight. So if you find out that these are not current, I apologize. I just do one down here. We like to kind of get a triangle going. They say, whoever they are. Let's see here. Oh, you've been using your paper pumpkin kits? Oh, awesome. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you like the card. This paper is just so. All right, now I need to remember what I was doing with the rest of the projects. He says, smiling. Actually, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I do know what I'm doing. I have a good idea. Let's just say that. All right, these. I don't need the pumpkins, so actually I am going to clean up the pumpkins. I'm going to set the card over to the side, even though that's where I need to go next. So I'm just going to put these away because I am using a different stamp set with the next one. But I think I forgot to grab it, but that's okay. But if I can get these big blocks off my table, it helps, because these really big blocks I store in a drawer next to me. They don't get to hang out front and center. Ah. I know I should have marked how they came off here, because now I'm not getting them back on. Come on. All right, if you look, you can kind of see the outline where they were living before. There we go. Just so they all fit, otherwise they don't fit. Okay. There we go. See? There you go. You got it. We got it now. Usually I don't have you help me put stuff away because I'm using the same stuff on everything. But tonight, the paper is the consistent part. All right. And then I'm not using the pumpkin dies anymore. So you just get like a little random bit of everything tonight. All right. These go on here. And these go in. And this is a sneak peek. This is coming out September 1st. September 1st. And I am not going to put these big ones down, but I am going to make sure the little ones get down so they don't fall through the crack. I know. Come on, stay. There's that, that, and that in the bucket. And I have the sheet. I'm not going to worry about the stencils. The stamp sheet. I have to rinse the stencils off. I needed to try that last stencil. That was kind of a cool one. This one, I'll have to do that one. That'd be a really pretty background. All right. And where are the other stencils? I'm going to set those aside. I find them. Okay, next up. I have this one. This one. So this card base is 8.5 by 5.5. It is Cajun Craze. And I scored it. Yeah. Scored it 4 1/4 and creased it. All right. I'm going to emboss that. So I need to move my Gourd-geous card. And I'm going to grab one of the minis. If I can find it. There's the candy cane one I told you about. Oh, there's the bats one that you've seen me use. And it comes in a set of 3. And of course, the one I wanted to use is the one that is missing. And it's not, it can't be too far. Oh, fiddlesticks. Well, you know what? I'm going to go to plan A or plan B, I guess. This is also a wood one. Where could it be? I don't know where it would be. It is not where it should be. Why is it the stuff that you need? Oh, it is, but it was laying down. So we've got it. It's the leaf one. Yay. It's when you need it, right? But I could use the wood one, but it's such a small area. I wanted a smaller imprint. So I'm going to run this through with the mini. This piece is Golden Glow, and it is 1 1/8 by 5 1/8. I told you I'm into 8ths lately. Hi, Deb. How are you? All right. And I told you I was going to use the mini. And let me grab my plates again. I think for the mini, what do I use for the embossing folder? I use 1 4, 1 3. I think this is not a, I think I use 1 3 because this is not a 3D one. So it doesn't matter where it goes because they're leaves, right? Right. So we're trying 1 3. Or that's not working. That went right through. So, oh, 1. It takes 1 3. You have to read the directions on the, you have to read the numbers. So here's 1 3. I was thinking the clear plate was a 1 2. It even says so. All right, that sounded good. So we're going to put these pieces away. And well, it looks like we're going to have a long class tonight again. Maybe not. This should go fairly quickly. All right, there's that. Putting the embossing folder away. And then I have a piece of pecan pie. Nope. Early espresso, excuse me. 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and add this to my card base. Look at how that is just going so nicely. I am so happy. I have missed tape runner. And I watched somebody do it, and they were talking about all the different ways they tried it. And I was like, okay, I didn't try it that way. And if you catch the tape runner early enough, it works. All right. So this is, I don't know, it's just all the dried weed pieces. And this is, the DSP is 2 3/4 by 5 1/8. And so we're going to make it, are they matchy-matchy? Uh-oh, they're not matchy-matchy. So we're going to trim this one down. So this one was supposed to be 5 1/8, and this one is 5 1/8, but somehow or another, they're not looking like they match up. All right, I'm going to trim a smidgen off this, because even though they look like they're matching up, they really aren't. All right. That's why I love our trimmers. That's a smidgen. I do force the blade toward one side or the other, so it can't just like waffle between. All right, and we're ready. I think they will be more matchy-matchy now. Look at that. Perfect. All right, so this one thing I didn't mention to you about this designer series paper, it is only one-sided. There aren't two sides to the, I mean, there's two sides to the paper, but there is no pattern on the second side. It is white. I don't know if you noticed that with the pumpkin or not. So then this is just going to get put in here. And then we're going to add this over here. And this probably should be just a little narrower. So I was hoping for a space. But you know what? We're just going to go for it. No, we're not. We're going to trim it. We know we can do smidgens. Smidgens on embossed paper are a little hard. So I'm going to flip it over to the debossed side. And a smidgen is usually along this brown line. I am going to line it up. I get my blade back here, so I'm pushing into it. And then I'm pushing to one side with my blade and going slowly. See, it just kind of chews. And I messed it up. Dang it. I messed it up. That's all right. Let's see if we can doctor it. Yeah, trimming embossed paper doesn't usually go fantastic. But you know what? That's where the embellishment goes, or the sentiment, right? Wherever there's an oops, that's where you put the stuff. Either that, or I could just make that edge. I could use the debossed side. I could tear that edge. No, we're going to just do it this way. It'll be fine. It is fine. But that's what you get. Measure twice, cut once. Because I wanted this line between. So now we're going to go ahead and use this. And I'm not holding it properly, and it's still working. My dog is destroying the carpet. We just have an old remnant out there because my husband comes in so gross from the field. We don't have nice things down here. All right, so there we have that. Now I need to find I want the Simply Leaves stamp set. Look at that. That didn't even take a lot of work. All right. And I'm just going to make a couple leaves. More leaves. So Cajun Craze. I like the little leaves. Maybe we'll use a little leaf. However, I really don't want to introduce plaid into this. So I'm going to go with the ones that aren't as different. There we go. Now I could just use designer series paper, but we're going to get ink. So we're stamping, right? I am going to use a piece of very vanilla though. Where is my vanilla? Oh, that makes sense. See if we can do a couple of these, my scraps. All right. So where is Golden Glow? I go from loving Golden Glow as my favorite in color this time around to Hydrangea Hue. Oh, but Peaceful Pine. Oh, yeah. I don't remember the other. Crisp Cantaloupe. Crisp Cantaloupe doesn't do much for me. Is Strawberry Slush the other one? I don't remember what the other Strawberry Slush from this time or last time. I don't know. I have my in colors all together up there. Let me look. Let me look at my punch. See how I'm going to have to punch it. So if I hold it like this, okay, make my tip go up. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And then we're going to use, I think the little one's going to be Early Espresso. And we're going to put it down here. We're going to try to get it in down here. I don't want the punch. I have to fussy cut that one. Ooh, that one's very... Do we want a black leaf, basically? We might change that one. We're going to do that one differently. I think crumb cake would be better. That's an awful dark looking leaf. Oh, my dog is whining that she wants in to see me. She's gotten so big. All right, so then we're going to do it on this one. And I'll do this. That's our fussy cut one. Oh, I like that better. And then we're going to do Cajun Craze, and I forgot to get Cajun Craze out, so you have to go for a little ride. Cajun Craze. Oh, there it is. I don't use a lot of this, but ooh, Barely Blush. Ooh, yeah. You know what? I didn't get Barely Blush. Oh, that's the other ink. You're right. I didn't buy that one. I don't have that ink pad. I bought the paper. I bought the blends, but I did not buy the ink pad for that one because I didn't think I would use it as an ink pad. I rarely use soft seafoam. So to me, it's in that really soft pastel category. And I just don't stamp with those very often. Oh, look at that. That's our palette. Very pretty. Thank you, Melinda, for filling in that gap. So strawberry slush was last time. I have my old pad for that. I don't upgrade my ink pads very often. All right, so we're going to punch this. We might just cut out that early espresso leaf. And then punch this. I'm glad I went with very vanilla. And this one's going to be fussy cut. And then I'm actually going to do a leaf. And I think that will work. Then where are my sayings? Thanks. I'm going to use we're going to use thanks. I think I'm going to stamp on that leaf. We're going to fussy cut these. And they are not going to be hard. I should have left a border. I know. Because the others have borders. This one's not going to. Tell you what, I'll leave a border on this edge. And then we'll hide this other end, this other side. See, I'm just making mistakes and covering them up everywhere today. All right. When she doesn't have enough activity, the dog gets a little destructive at night. So I usually have to go play ball with her or something, but I'm with you all. So that's not happening right now. So she just raised the carpet. All right. So we have this, and we'll just tuck this underneath so you don't see where I didn't give it. And we'll make a bundle of leaves. And this one, you know what? I should almost do a little leaf with thanks on it. Maybe thanks will just go on this leaf. Nope, it won't because it's too little. And we're going to use Cajun Craze. And I wanted to use some linen thread. So we're going to see how we can bundle these together with, we're going to have to hide that edge. We're making a leaf bundle, a leaf bouquet. We might not keep thanks like that. We might cut it out. And then you can take the side that you did use, if you want them to be matchy-matchy, and hold it one way or the other. And if you want that same angle, you can line it up, cut the same angle. Okay, I like that better than the leaf. I thought it was a good idea. It wasn't. All right, so we're going to start with the black one. The black early espresso. Remember I told you where it's buckled right there? That's where we're putting the sentiment. There are no mistakes in stamping. I love that. There are no mistakes in stamping. Only opportunities for embellishing. I think that's how the rest of that saying goes. Only opportunities for embellishment. So I'm going to put this one down next. And I did use dimensional, so it will pop. Then we're going to put this over it. And I'm going to put a dimensional on this side. And we're still using that gorgeous paper. Put a little dab of that. Add this. And we're going to add this on top. And then we're going to put thanks. Okay, I think that's the plan. Add a little of this. And then we're going to take some linen thread. And I'm going to wrap it around the stems. I wouldn't have to do that, but I'm going to. I could just tie a bow and add it on there with a glue dot, but I'm actually going to tie them on there. And make a bow. Gave myself plenty there. That is all right. I haven't eaten supper yet, so I think I might make a big bowl of popcorn when I'm done. Maybe put a movie on. How does that sound? And then come watch, make some more Stampin' Cross Country stuff, because I got to give, my guess is registration will go live for me. If you want to sign up with me, because you have to sign up with whatever demonstrator you choose. If you want to sign up with me, my goal is to have my registration ready to go by noon. How's that? Noon Mountain Time. There we go. I think I like it half and half over here. And this is going to be, we'll put this on with some borders of embellishments. Oh, that dog is just going to town out there. So there's card number 2. And we can add some more bling. I know I saw some bling in here that would go with it, that I know was on the last chance list, whether it still is or not. If it's still there, if it's not, I can replace these. But I think these brown, actually, those early espresso, or are they? That's right. We're going to use pecan pie because it works. I'm going to tuck that under. I don't know. I learned once upon a time that tucking under kind of helps. I don't know. I'll put 2 down here. So there you go. Card number 2 with the golden. No, what is it? The Glow of Harvest. Should know that. The Glow of Harvest. All right. So there's card number 2, and we are running late. So card number 3. I was going to try to use some hot foil with you, but card number 1 wasn't supposed to take that long. So we're going to go for it, because if it goes fast, I've got everything ready. We're going to give it a shot. Okay. So I have it all plugged in. Not plugged in. I have it all ready to roll. And you can see how it works. It might, nope, it's not warm from before. All right. So we're just going to leave it over here. It's going to take a few minutes to warm up. And I'm going to get a couple things tidied up, and we're going to talk about a few things. All right. So this is my next card. And this was the plan for the next card. This is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 I said, I did not do any real fancy folds with this. But I was thinking about, instead of using the acorns, this is what it was going to look like. And then I'm going to add some of the hot foil. I think I might take this off and emboss this piece instead. I think I'm going to like it better than, oh, I'm not even on camera. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to emboss the piece behind and then go that route instead. This will be the bottom. So we aren't going to use the acorns, but that's okay. That's all right. So I'm going to emboss the Golden Glow. With fall, I am in love with the Golden Glow. And we need this up here anyway when it's time to do the hot foil. All right. I need an embossing folder. The leaves. I think I'm just going to use the leaves again because I can do it at the bottom. And then my adhesive will stick better on the top, right? Just have to make sure I get leaves all the way through. And then I need my plates. I'm going to set aside for the hot foil. How many of you have tried the hot foil or are familiar with the hot foil? Oh, let's see here. Going to bed. It's 10:21 here. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for joining me, Melinda. And I know the time zone is really hard sometimes between all the time zones. Even, yeah, it just gets to be long. Late. And if you are not a night owl like I am, it's hard. I get it. All right, so this piece we're not going to use then. So we're going to add this piece on here and see, I was into the 8ths. This is 4 1/8. This first layer of Golden Glow that I just embossed half of is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. We're going to add that to the card base. And sometimes when you see me flip it over, it's because there's a slight ding. And I just assume the slight ding be on the back, or it didn't line up. And I would just assume it be on the back of my card as opposed to the front. So when you're figuring it out, take your best piece and put it on the front. Somehow or another, it got to the back again, the front. Okay. There we go. You love the hot foil? Oh, I see. I sent myself a message. Actually, Sue, I think I sent you a message. I have it automatically respond if somebody mentions foil. So you got a message from me about a hot foil event that I did with some of my friends that is still available for replay if you're interested. You get it for $5. They're my Stampin' Cross Country team people that I do this next event that I was talking to you about. All right, I'm going to add this piece of DSP, and it is 4 by 3. And I'm just going to add that with, and pretty soon the hot foil will be ready to go. And we're going to get that ready to go. All right, so I'm going to line this up at the top. I was curious if I could get, if the hot foil would stick to this paper. And I did a little experimenting. And yes, it does. This is the new copper foil. And I got it to stick. I got it to work on the embossing on this paper. So I'm going to show you the hot foil dies that I'm going to use. I'm going to use the lustrous leaves. Lustrous leaves. I thought that would work really well on here. I'm going to use the copper paper. I had a sheet that I used, but that was like an hour and a half ago, right? And there are no stamps that go with this, but there are some stamps that go with some of the dies that, like this is another one. And these are just regular stamps, but they are in the hot foil section. So you need to check that out. This is part of the release that will be out September 1st. So I love all these sentiments. So I think we might use one of those in my little introduction to a couple things. Where is that? Oh. Anyway, I did hot foiling on a piece of the Glow of Harvest glow paper, and it worked. I don't know where it went. That was before pumpkins and everything else. So, all right. So when the timer beeps, I'm going to put this foil die on there. And this was what I was left. And there's a reverse plate that you can use this with. So you need to save these if you want to save them. I can show you how that works after we're done if you'd like. My word, where is that? And there's also, so this goes with, these are some framed and fabulous hot foil dies. So the gold are hot foil and the gray are regular dies. So they go together. All right. So now I'm going to take, since you heard the beep, I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it on there and I'm going to push the button. I'm going to set this aside. Yep, that other paper is just MIA. And I was so excited about it. I just took a scrap of it and added leaves to it. So I don't think we're going to see it tonight. So we're going to make this. I was going to hot foil this, but I don't think we're going to hot foil it. I think what I will do is cut. Take these out and pick one that works on your special day, just because. Happy birthday. How about a nice fall birthday? I'm going to do this and this. I'm going to pick this die right here. And I am once again going to use some vanilla. And I want to do a hot foil class, but I didn't have everything ready for tonight. So I will do a class one night. You did hot foil a couple of years ago at Stampin' Scrap Expo? Yeah, fun. All right, now the fun part comes. So this beeped. So now I'm going to add my foil. I think the copper goes with the Cajun Craze. So you add the foil, shiny side down, and then your paper. I forgot to get paper. That's okay. We'll use a piece of copper. We'll use a piece of the Very Vanilla. And if it messes up, these tweezers that go with the heat embossing work really well. There we go. All right. And then we're going to, all you have to do is just take your finger and click this off. And then this is ready to go. I'm going to set this aside. I need to get my shim. The green plate goes next, and then the clear plate. The white is not hot, but the other part is. So then we're going to take and set that aside and grab my bossing machine. And you have to have the big boss for it to work because of the width. It does not work with the Big Shot because of the width. And yeah, sorry, I have to stand up for a minute. And don't go super fast. Don't go back a second time. But like I said, this parts of this are very hot. So there, set that down. And let's take a look at these gorgeous leaves. I'm going to need that back in a second, but let's take a look at the gorgeous leaves. Take that layer off. And this layer off. And this layer off. And there are our leaves. I might have gone a little too fast, but let's see. Nope. Aren't they gorgeous? Ah, so pretty. So pretty. Okay, I didn't get a full leaf over here, but that's all right. So now I can add this back on here, plug it in again. And let me show you another new one that's out. This little tool takes this off. Oh, there's my thing that I did earlier. See, I checked it to see if it worked on here. That's a different die that's available now. Very pretty. All right. So let me get, I had another plate. This is the reverse plate. So it's already mostly heated up. This is new also. If it says Stampin' Up, you use the other side for your dyeing. And it won't take long. But we're going to, while this is heating up, we're going to do a couple other things. Like cut out our leaves and our dye. We're just going to have gorgeousness. All right. This says happy birthday. We're going for a fall birthday. We'll go with Cajun Craze again. No, actually, I'm going to go with the espresso. And I just put my thumb in it. Isn't that gorgeous? I know. I am so in love with the hot foil. I didn't know if I was going to love it because I really had never experienced it. And then once I tried it, I was thoroughly in love. I didn't even test this out, but it worked perfectly. Yay! All right, now we're going to take this and run this through. So I'm going to grab this, get it kind of centered. And then this has, uh-oh, that's not good. I put the hot foil that I was going to use on the tape. Good. That's all right. It all worked out. Boy, this is glued on there. Well, it's glued on there well. So these dies are different from the hot foil dies. Hot foil dies have a really matte finish, and these have, of course, the sharp edges on the around the edge. So I don't know why that's taking a while to heat up. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to put, this is just a plain old die. It's just flat. There's no design on it. I'm going to set that on there, and I'm going to push the button again. And This plate came out with the second release, or will come out with the second release, and which is September 1st. Demonstrators get it early, just like we get everything early. Or I shouldn't say everything. Occasionally, they don't let us have everything early, but we get a lot of things early. All right. Set this up here. I need a bigger desk, or at least a bigger camera area for this. And I need my regular sandwich for these dies. And we will be done shortly. But you get to see all kinds of fun stuff with the foil. And I'm just going to keep adding more foil on and off. I know not everyone can handle or can afford the foil system. It is a commitment. But I want to at least let you know what's available to you. And kind of show it off a little bit, because I am totally in love. All right, let me get these done. I'll show you those in just a moment. Let me get my embossing machine ready to go, because it's showtime. We're going to take, I need another piece. I want a bigger piece, but maybe I do have a bigger piece. Nope, I do not. Oh, I do. Okay. I have a larger piece of the Very Vanilla. Now we're going to lay, this is the leftovers. We're laying the leftovers down on that reverse image plate. And then we're going to lay the paper over that reverse image plate. We're going to unconnect, we're going to disconnect it, unconnect it. And then I need a green shim and the clear plate. And then I'm going to run it through my machine. And you don't run them fast. You just kind of run them slow. It's not a race. You're trying to get that foil to transfer to the paper. And there we go. All right, I'm going to move. I wish they'd have put a handle on the other side too, but they didn't, and that's just fine. And we have to use that one more time, but I want to show you what we did. That's what we did. Put my plates in there. This, like I said, is a tool. It's a magnetic tool. It has a hard time with some of these big ones, but you can use it to shimmy it off. Also, I have another silicone mat back here that I'm using as the cooling off, because I don't want it to melt anything. I'm going to set that down. And here we have the reverse. So you can use all of the paper. And you just peel this off. This is garbage now. And only where the heat and the paper were is where it transferred from. I'm not saving that strip. And then we're going to bring this back up and add our regular plates. And all I have to do is assemble these. And we will be done. So this die works on this also. Line it up. Line it up. And run it through the machine. Rosemary, you put the side down of the reverse plate that says Stampin' Up. If you can read the word Stampin' Up, it goes underneath because you don't want that mark on your cards. All right. So now we have a nice little variety to put on our card. We'll get rid of the machine, and we are just going to assemble our happy birthday card with all this gorgeous, gorgeous foil. So this is using the reverse plate that is available in September, with this stamp set is available in September too. It does peel off a little bit with the Post-it note tape. And then this set has tons of leaves also that I'm not going to worry about. And then this is with the original pass. So we have, so there's the positive and there's using the negative. Aren't they just lovely? So easy. I mean, you saw me crank it through, what, 3 times? And if you have multiples of the same, so like when I did this, if I was doing more of those, you don't have to wait very long because this die is already hot. I made 26 of these cards, and it took me less than 4 hours because I used the Stampin' Positioner for the stamping, and this is a sentiment that's hot foil. It is so much fun. So hot foil Sunday is what we're going to do for Stampin' Cross Country. And I believe Sunday is free. The rest of the week of events are not, but it's pretty reasonably priced. It is $99. And you get all the pieces and parts and all the fun and gifts and prizes and all the things. So, all right, let me find my card base. Here we go. And we have happy birthday. I don't know where to put it. And then we're not using all these, but we'll tuck some of these beautiful leaves in, maybe in front of, around. We don't want to cover up that gorgeous paper because that's what the whole party was about today. And maybe I won't even use some of these. Oh, I think I will. All right, let's go ahead and park this. We're going to use one dimensional, and we're going to park the sentiment in the center where we want it. And then I can tuck around. So I'm going to add it right there. And then we're going to tuck these around. That one didn't get a whole lot, so it might just get tucked in there like that. And I am going to use some of the glue dots. Wow, for being a short class tonight, I'm sure being long, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a good way to spend your Friday evening. Foil goes up. The shiny side goes toward the shine goes to the die. Trying to use the little ones. And I would be happy. Just follow the directions. I read the directions and they are so easy to follow. It tells you exactly what to do on the directions. Step by step with pictures. And it is so easy. The hardest part is waiting for it to warm up, and it really doesn't take that long. And that's only the first round. After that, it doesn't take long at all. All right, I'm going to use that. I'm going to put a dimensional on this one. And I'm going to get rid of the stem. Because the stem, I'm going to have, oh, these are my ribbon only scissors. They need a new home. They have been sneaking out a lot lately. I'm going to have all of my scissors out soon. I don't have a clue where my take your pick tool is. So I cut that stem off so I could tuck this a little easier. There we go. And we're going to use an odd number because that is the way to go. Ooh, I like that. And then we're going to add a big one down here. My dog is still sad at me. Maybe I might use a light one though. I might use the light colored one. There you have it. And then I'm going to use a big, bold one down here. Oh, yeah, that works great. Okay. So I'm going to add a dimensional right behind that one right there. And probably one up higher if I can get it to sneak under. If I can't, I can take it off. Right, here goes. Gotta make sure it fits. There you have it. There is our card for the evening with the hot foil, both the reverse and both the negative and the positive shapes. And I have more hot foil to use. So let's see what I have in here. I could share some. What do I have that would work? Add more bling to my card. I have some new ones. Oh. Nope. Oh, why is it always the bling that's annoying? Oh, I think I was looking for those. These are new. These are Radiant Gems. Oh, I haven't told you the stamp sets that we're using for Stampin' Cross Country. We are going to use the Christmas Mouse and the Radiant Sunflowers. So now you know. And all that information will be available to you tomorrow. I will work on it tonight after I finish grabbing something to eat. Looks kind of empty, but it doesn't. There you go. Oh, Rosemary, you just got yours? Oh, wonderful. Well, let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to help. So there is that. I don't know if it needs another piece of, I don't know. It almost looks like it could use a piece of twine or something, but I think I'm going to let it be. I could maybe put another leaf. Over the front. Nope, I don't think so. And I like that paper. I don't want to cover up that paper anymore. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, I have a little blip from my Post-it note tape. But there's a whole lot of new products and some old products and some coming products and the product of the month. So there you have it. Have a wonderful evening. Let me pull out my cards so you can see all three of them in case you came in early, came in late, stayed whenever. I always do a recap at the end. So this is card number 3. That is featuring the new reverse hot foil. That is featuring the new Lustrous Leaves and Framed and Fabulous dies. This uses Simply Leaves. That's card number 2. And card number 1 uses the pumpkin, which I put away. The painted pumpkins. So there you have, all using the product of the month and new products, old products, coming products, past products, and some last chance products. So thank you so much for sticking with me this long. I'm sorry it went so long, but I think we got some good stuff done. So have a wonderful weekend. I will see you here on Monday. And do we want to do a live on Wednesday or do you want recording on Thursday? Let me know. Thank you. Yes, I love that you can use every last bit of the foil. Shirley says that she likes the fact that you can use all the foil. None of it needs to be thrown away before you use it. Yep. Yep. Oh, and Shirley can't wait to register for Stampin' Cross Country. I hope more of you will consider it, and that information will be out tomorrow. So thank you all very much for coming. Good night.